Okay, let's look at variation. So differences among organisms of the same species, we call it variation. So when we talk about variation, we are talking about this organism. What are some of the causes of variation? These causes could be genetic, or it could be environmental. You can be tall, not because you are genetically tall. It could be environmental. You can be short, not because you are genetically short. It could be environmental. Haven't you ever seen father, mother, both short, but they produce a tall kid? It could be genetical, yes, or it could be environmental. Oh, dark skin, or light skin, they produce a dark skin, and then the father said, this is not my kid. Who told you it's not your kid? It's whose kid? So it's your kid, but some environmental factors could happen, or some genetic factors could also happen. When we talk about a species, it's a group of organisms living together. And these organisms must interbreed to produce a fertile offspring. I've tried to explain this. A group of living organisms consists of similar individuals, meaning the same group, capable of interbreeding. Interbreeding is sex, having sex and produce kids. That's interbreeding. Right? Courtship, you do the courtship and then you produce. I hope everyone is above 18. To produce fertile. Fertile means something which can reproduce again, or viable offsprings. Offsprings are babies. We saw them when we were talking about genetics. And then a population, if you have dogs, a lot of dogs in the same area, specific time, then we say that a population of dogs, population of plants. So when we talk about a population, it's a group of organisms of the same species. They must be living together and they must be able to interbreed. So if they can interbreed, then it means that it's just a population of those organisms. The reason why I've talked about the species and population, because variation happens in the species, or it happens in the population. That's why I try to do a recap of population and species. What are some of the causes of variation? Number one, crossing over. You remember we talked about crossing over. When we talk about crossing over, homologous chromosomes come together during prophase 1. You must be specific, prophase 1, and then the chromatids of the homologous chromosome, they cross over. When they cross over, you'll find out that they produce chromosomes with mixed genetic composition. You find out that this part came from this chromosome, while this part came from this chromosome. So this one came from this, and then this one came from this. So it means that genes have been mixed. That's why you have the father, you have the same mother, but you have different people. They appear, they don't even look alike. Sometimes you go even somewhere and they say like, hey man, you resemble someone I know there. Does it mean that your father went to that lady and then impregnated her and without knowing? No. It's because you share the same ancestor, then it means that you still have those genes within us. So crossing over, it helps in when homologous chromosomes from pairs during prophase 1. I said prophase 1 is very important of meiosis. Crossover can occur as you see it here. Crossover occurs, as I've tried to explain, leads to new combination of genetic material in new cells. So if they separate during anaphase, they will go to different cells. Then it means that these cells, they will have different genetic material compared to the parents. If parents had this, then automatically the offspring, you will have this. So it means that you will have some characters from the father, some characters from the mother, but not all characters that you will be the same, exactly like the father. So crossing over helps in bringing about variation. Number 2, random arrangement of chromosomes. How do chromosomes randomly arrange? If you look at this, you'll find out that you can have this, maybe. Remember, they just do randomly. They are like chicken when they are going to mate. Okay, I'll talk about that. For example, we don't know whether this chromosome is going to be on this side or is going to be on this side. It can be like this this color, this color, and this color, this color, or it could be like this. So we don't know which one is gonna be, which one is gonna be this side, this one is gonna be this side. And remember, here we're just showing 4 of them. They are not 4 different positions, as long as they are homologous chromosomes, but they have different positions. So you end up having different combination of, for example, in this case, you're gonna have this, you're gonna have this. In this case, you're gonna have this, you're gonna have this, and then you have another combination, you have another combination. So you end up having many, many, many combinations. So random arrangement of chromosomes during metaphase result in the gametes with unique, you will find out that you have unique combinations of what? Of alleles. At the equator during metaphase allows different combinations of chromosomes or chromatids to go into each new cells, resulting in meiosis, making them different. So if you look at this, this sperm will be different from this sperm, and this sperm will be different from this sperm. All these, if you look at them, all of them, they are different, but it came from only 2 combinations, but you have many combinations. You have many combinations. So because of this, it will result, and you don't know which sperm is going to fertilize the ovum. So because of this, then it helps in bringing about variation. And then another one is random fertilization. Look at this egg, and look at these sperms. Look at these sperms. All these sperms, all these sperms, all these sperms, they are looking for this ovum. And we don't know which one is going to fertilize the ovum. You see, we don't know. So if it is like that, it is by chance, it's random. All these sperms are different, but we don't know which one is going to fertilize this. So if the guy produces like 100 million sperms, and then only one, and each sperm is different from the other, only one will fertilize the ovum. So what does it mean? It means that this time it will be a different sperm fertilizing. Another time it will be a different sperm fertilizing. Obviously, we will have different genetic makeup, and then we will have what you call variation. We will have some differences among us. That's why you have different colors, you have different heights, you have different sizes, you have different length of hair. You have why? Because of the genes are being mixed up during these processes. So you're saying that any sperm stand a chance of fertilizing an egg or cell. You see how fast your sperm was. I told you that you were lucky. How fast your sperm was to fertilize the ovum, so that at least you can exist. If your sperm did not fertilize an ovum, and then another sperm fertilized, you think you would have existed. Someone else would have existed, not you. But your sperm was smart, was faster, everything was perfect, and then it was able to fertilize the ovum, and then you are existing. So you're saying between different ovum and then different sperm cells formed by meiosis, resulting offsprings that are different from each other. We saw that you have different sperms. Each sperm or each cell is different from the other. So it shows that random fertilization can help in bringing about variation. Note, each individual is capable of producing over 8 million sperm. You see? Hey, do you know the meaning of 8 million sperm? If they give you 8 million rand, are you going to be rich or poor? Obviously, you're going to be rich. So now imagine that is sperm. 8 million sperm are potential. When you talk about potential, it means that those which can fertilize, because we have other sperms which cannot fertilize. But random chance of any one sperm and egg coming together is a product of these 2 possibilities. Look, 70 trillion different combinations. That is the chance. You see how it means that you won a barrel of 70 trillion. 70 trillion. Even the budget of South Africa might not be 70 trillion. I don't know. I'm not a politician, but it might not be a 70 trillion. This is a lot of money. It's a lot of money if it is terms of money. But sperms, you have all these chances, but your sperm was able to fertilize. So it means that random fertilization can bring about variation. So it is also a cause of variation. Let's look at random mating. Random mating, you just met whoever comes to your face. For example, if you are chasing this one and then someone comes, crosses your eyes or your eyes, then you leave the other and then you go with this one. That is a random mating. Whatever comes to your face is what you mate. I think the people who make a random mating are the so-called, they call them mahoshas, eh? Yeah, they do random mating. Whoever comes, yeah, they go. What they're about is money. So that's what you call random mating. So mating takes place within species randomly. If you look at this, yes, this can mate with this can mate with this can mate with this. There is no restrictions that no, Mina, I want a tall, big, oh, no, with this, no. Whatever comes to your eyes, you just go. That's what you call random mating. Between organisms within a species lead to different set of offsprings from each mating pair. So if I mate this with this, different set. There, this different set. Mate this with this different set. So random mating also helps in bringing about variation. And then lastly, we have what we call mutation. Mutation means change in the genetic composition of an organism. This could be chromosomal. It could be a chromosome changing, or it could be the whole chromosome changing. Number of sets could change. For example, Down syndrome, you have an extra chromosome, so chromosomal mutation. Or it could be a gene mutation, whereby just a specific part of DNA just chops off or is inserted or is substituted, something like this. If you look at this, this is a substitution. This is a DNA. What happened? This was here. You see it is this color, the same color. But what happened? This cut and then another part joined here. So it's also a mutation. This will result in a different organism. These mutations could be beneficial or could be a lethal mutation. So changes the structure of gene or chromosome, and therefore the organism's genotype changes too. The moment you change the genotype of an organism, then automatically you change the composition, the phenotype of an organism. Remember, the genotype, the genetic composition, what is inside your DNA determines what is outside. How beautiful you are is determined by the genetic makeup. Not the makeup. No. Not makeup. No. It's the genetics of your what is inside. Your manners, the way how you respond, the more how you think is being determined by this. However, it could also be environmental. It creates organisms with new, different characteristics from one generation to the next generation. So if there is gene mutation, if there is any mutation, if there is any change in the genetic composition of an organism, it will result in different organisms, which we call variation. Because the moment the organism phenotype has changed, then we say that variation has taken place. So mutation could be, number one, harmless. It can result in harmless. It has no problem with you. For example, you have an extra finger here. It's not changing your physical abilities. So it could be harmless. It could be harmful mutation. This one, it can even cause death. Albinism, it is a mutation, but it is harmful. How harmful? Because you cannot sustain yourself in sun. If you are original indigenous, like someone you know, yes, it means that. Then it means that, yeah, you are strong. But if you don't have it, then automatically what happens? It means that you have a mutation, and then you won't be able to walk in the sun. And then you have the beneficial mutations. They can make you more advanced. Some of you watched these X-Men movies. Okay, that is a movie. But X-Men stuff, yes. Oh. They have beneficial, maybe this one can fly, this one can do this. Those are mutations, but beneficial to them. A mutation can be beneficial, or it could be harmful, or it could be just there without any problem with you. This variation could be a continuous variation, or it could be discontinuous variation. So let's look at continuous variation.
So
Continuous variation, this is the type of variation where there is a range of characters. There is a range of characters, there is intermediate values. So if you look at this graph, you'll find out that you have a number of people, number of characters, and then the extreme ends, you have a number of them still, but the number of individuals which have the intermediate, the intermediate value, they are more than the two extremes. For example, if you look at height in humans or size, you'll find out that people who are too small, they are very few, and people who are too big are also very few. But people who are just in the medium size, there are a lot. So that's the meaning. That's why you see that at each extreme end, the graph will lower down, and then as you continue to the medium size or medium value, then you find out that the number is increasing. So if you skip or you pass the medium size or medium value, then you go back to the number dropping down until you reach 0. So basically that's continuous variation. We see that examples of this you can find out. You have the size, you have the height, you have the skin color. You have some people who are too dark, some people who are light, others that are intermediate. But you find out that those who are too dark and those who are too light, they are few. But those ones who are intermediate, you'll find them that they're a little bit many. That's why you see them here, the same story. So this continuous variation can be controlled by environmental factors, or could be controlled by genetic factors. So, but the environmental factors has a big influence on that. However, even genetic factors are also part of it. For example, if you look at size among individuals, if you eat miserably, it means that you're gonna become fat. Therefore, it is environmental. It's not that you were born like that. It's because the way how you behave yourself, then it causes that you gain weight. So such characters which can be controlled by environment or influenced by the environment, then can be categorized as continuous variation. Okay, then you have what you call the discontinuous variation. When we talk about discontinuous variation, this one, the environment has a very small impact on it. It means that it's not being controlled by the environment. So in this case, you have characters that you find in the population has no intermediate values. For example, blood groups, you have blood group A, B, AB, O, O. So you cannot have these blood groups. You cannot have blood group. You cannot be blood group A and you are blood group B. No, you cannot be in between there. No, you are either A, B, or O. You cannot be halfway or halfway A, halfway or halfway B. No. You either A, you are B, you are A, B, you are O. So it means that there is no intermediate in between there. But if you look at height, you'll find out someone is too tall, someone is next to there, another, the next height, like that. But for the case of blood group, it's not like that. Another example is tongue rolling. Yes, you can either roll the tongue if you try to see exactly. Some people, if you roll, you can roll the tongue. If you do like this, you'll find out that some people can do the tongue. They can roll the tongue, but others cannot roll the tongue. You either roll it or you don't roll it. So that is the meaning, that if you are discontinuous, then it means that you cannot, you are either this side or the other side. So these characters are being controlled by the genetic makeup of an individual. So if it is genetic makeup of an individual, then it means that these individuals, they either belong to one group or they belong to another group. The environmental factors cannot influence you. It cannot influence you to be blood. If you're blood group A, you cannot be blood group AB. If you are blood group O, you cannot be blood group AB because of the environmental factors. No, if you are born blood group O, you're gonna die blood group O. So if it is like that, then we say that the one which are being controlled by the genes, then we say that that is discontinuous variation. So if you look at this graph, you'll find out that you have A, there is no one here. There is no one here. You have B, there is no one here. You have AB, there is no one here. So it is discontinuous. It is not continuous like height. If you look at height, if you look at height here, you'll find out that for it is continuing.